Strive Now Magazine. Strive Now Magazine.
Yo, cuz. I know why you got the call last night. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. You don't want that shit to come back to haunt.
Been trying to run from my problems to keep another one from adding on. I feel so numb, I'm so far gone. Cause the collateral damage is done. Just need to exhale.
Yeah.
I just need to exhale.
Yes. That track by Sean Felton and Mob Music. Go to his Facebook page, Sean Felton. Brothers coming up. Thanks, bro. Love that track.
Just trying to get double. Tom Brady calling the shots in the huddle. All of my brothers, we come from.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Hayes, along with the co-host, Darren Williams.
What's up, everybody?
That's Mr. D. Will. We would like to thank you all for the overwhelming results and the support we got from the Week 1 podcast. It was really nice. The feedback was great. I want to thank everybody for the phone calls. Thank everybody for the text messages, the Facebook activity. I know you see our sponsors coming up there. If you can, share the page. We really appreciate it. And for all of those that have black businesses, please contact us at thrivenowpublishing@gmail.com. For everyone else, you could join us on www.thrivenowmagazine.com. You can go to the Strive Now Magazine page, click like on the page. That's appreciated. We're on Twitter at NowStrive. That's our news feed. You can also find us on iTunes and SoundCloud. So it was really good. It was a great vibe.
It was
really motivation. Yeah. So we would like to thank you all for that.
Thank
We're
you.
going to jump into week number 2.
This is the weekend review. What's up, Strive Nation? It's your boy D. Will here with the weekend review. First off, we're going to talk about the Easter shooter, Stevie Stevens from Cleveland, Ohio, 37-year-old black male. He went on Facebook Live and killed an elderly man because his girlfriend left him and his mom wouldn't talk to him. It was a disturbing video to see. I don't know if any of you saw it, but
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, he was on the run for 2 days. I don't know how.
You can find him.
You're on Facebook Live. You got a phone. Eric Snowden said they tracking everything we do, but they couldn't find this guy.
They found Tom Brady's jersey, though.
Right, they found Tom Brady's jersey. Some people even say it looks staged. You have a lot of conspiracy nuts out there that say it looks staged. I mean, who knows? With all the stuff going on, it's a possibility. I wouldn't know because I haven't seen murders.
I can see it being a distraction because what are they distracting us from? It's like Family Guy when the girl wanted to go out and Brian took the flashlight and put it on. That's how black people are.
Right, they just fall for the flash on the wall like a cat. It's a sad situation. I find it weird that he killed himself in Erie, Pennsylvania. Wordplay Erie. It's an eerie situation. So just
it's sad all over that he would go to Facebook Live to do this and just. What's sad is that people were sharing it the way they were. It was like everybody gravitate toward evilness and ignorance.
Yes, a lot of negativity. It seems like the world is they gravitate towards that negativity. They're drawn to it. I don't know.
Sharing it. I mean, like, if that was my grandfather and you on my friends list and you shared that, you can't be on my friends list anymore.
No, we're not friends.
We're not friends. You shared that, get off my friends list and don't see me in person.
Exactly, because it's going to be a situation.
Right.
That's
shared something like that was crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, that man lost his life.
Yeah, man worked his life to get to where he was at, and he's been enjoying his retirement, and here he is killed by a man who was lost mentally because he lost a lady.
A lady, and he mentioned something about being a Q dog on there too. I don't know if you saw that.
I read something on something.
But that's I don't know what they had to do with the situation. He was talking about his brothers would be mad at him, or
he knew he wasn't doing right. He knew he wasn't doing right when he was doing the wrong.
And it was stupid. He got caught at McDonald's ordering some fries or whatever. You know,
the sad part about that is, what if the guy at McDonald's didn't identify him? He's hiding. Right, he's hiding in broad daylight.
Yeah.
He's hiding in broad daylight.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a crazy story. You know, rest in peace to the man who lost his life.
Yeah, Robert Goodwin.
Robert Goodwin Sr.
Yeah.
Next thing is Aaron Hernandez. You know, I don't know if anybody has any sympathy for the man, but he took his own life after beating a case for
a double
homicide.
College. He was young, man.
He was young, and you know
lost.
Yeah,
he was lost. 27 years old.
And millionaire gangbanger. I don't get it, man.
That's what it was. It was a millionaire gangbanger.
You know, maybe he was mentally disturbed from the hits he received or something, because I think his family's donating his brain.
No, they're fighting for his brain, actually.
Oh, they're fighting for his brain.
They didn't release the brain. The prison didn't release it.
Because it's I don't understand. I mean, I don't think I would want to understand where he was coming from, because that's crazy that he was killing people.
It's amazing that they want to do science. They want science to make sure that they can understand why he killed himself. And when they take these results, them results don't come to us. They trickle down to us.
It doesn't at all.
It stops at the rich.
Yes, it does.
Then it goes down to some of the upper and middle class, but it doesn't. There's no study on why we have a higher suicide rate than ever before.
Right.
But when the rich guy does it, they want his brain.
They want his brain.
That's not a color. That's that football period. Dave Dorson.
Yeah, Dave Dorson, Junior Seau. Yeah.
They want the rich guys. No, they want their brain. Study it.
Yeah, that football, that's a whole nother subject.
They said it was rumored that he was trying to do that so his daughter could give $4 million to the rest of the contract.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. That's what's the Massachusetts law, but you know, he didn't seem like a valiant man that he would, you know, do something like take his own life. Because if he really was concerned about his daughter, he wouldn't have been doing the stuff he was doing anyway.
Well, that's
the best way to take care of your daughter.
That is
you know, keep playing and keep making that money. You know, he had his whole life ahead of him, and you know, it seemed senseless stuff. It seemed like he's crazy from what the stories you read. It seemed like he was just crazy.
I think he just had temper problems.
A sociopath.
Yeah, sociopath, and he just happened to be very skilled at football.
And it probably was overlooked because of his football skill, which is a lot with athletes.
His name was brought up with the murders because the men spilled water on him. Allegedly spilled water on him by mistake. So he's known on a football campus. So there's no way they didn't know his, you know what I'm saying, who he was. So,
I couldn't imagine accidentally spilling something on somebody and they come back to kill me.
Yeah, I think we were. He's like I said, a sociopath.
Yeah, that's crazy. And for our final news of the week, Bill O'Reilly.
Mr. O'Reilly.
He gone. O'Reilly. You know, so he's fired. Another abuse of a female accusation.
He's walking around getting his Donald Trump on.
Yeah, exactly. Just, you know, abusing his power, you know, but it took how long before action was taken? You know, how many women were, you know, molested or
roped.
You know,
violated.
Where's Gloria Allred?
Oh, yeah.
You know, where are these women groups that came out for other celebrities?
Yeah, they're coming Ray Rice.
Ray Rice, Bill Cosby. You know, they're not coming after old Billy O'Reilly.
O'Reilly actually got took down by Color Change, and he got took down by the women's organization. But Allred did not lead that women's organization. She doesn't. She'll lead against some white celebrities, but she's friends with most of the white celebrities.
Yeah.
So she's like the guy from TMZ.
The guy who's...
him.
I can't think of his name, but that guy.
Him. They take down black celebrities. They take down the white celebrities.
With the quickness.
But they go after the black celebrities.
With the quickness. You know, it's a double standard with that. You know,
yes, it is.
21 years. What was his severance pay? $25 million?
$25 million. $25 million. And that's if we go to work and we grow up a lady, we're not going to get... We have to fight for our unemployment.
We had to fight to stay out of jail.
Right, we have to pay for a lawyer. I mean, we're going to lose.
Yeah, big time.
Get a job and... He got $25 million.
He got $25 million for groping a woman.
Yeah, he gonna land. Somebody gonna pick him up.
Oh yeah, they're gonna definitely pick him up. He got whether he did it or not, he was accused of it.
Right, he's alleged.
And a lot of the people are upset. I saw a video of Snoop Dogg talking about it, where he was like, "Man, go after him like you went after Bill Cosby." Right,
that's what Gloria already was.
Yeah, that was alleged too. Right, but they went after him. They took his show off the air. Are they going to take Bill O'Reilly's show off the air? So they going to
get the syndication credit?
Are they going to do that?
I doubt it.
Are they going to censor him when he goes?
Fox not going to do that.
Are they going to blackball him from going to another station or going on the radio? No. Life goes on for him, and then he got $25 million on top of it.
Right. They gave him enough money to hold off. You want to sit back and chill, you can sit back and chill.
Exactly. We would never receive that. I have some opinions, but I doubt if they would pay me like that for that. Because I probably speak a little bit more truthfully than Mr. O'Reilly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's our weekend review. On to the next subject.
Welcome to the Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. Right where we strive for greatness.
Hi, I'm Tommy Hayes, owner of Strive Now Magazine and Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. I would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and I would also like to thank you for your support. But don't stop there. Go to Strive Now Magazine website at www.strivenowmagazine.com and subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you have a story to share or an upcoming business venture or event that will have a positive reflection on the Black community, please contact us at strivenowpublishing@gmail.com. For business events and community events, please give us at least 2 weeks advance notice and we will respond in kind. Again, I thank you for your support and I encourage you to never stop striving. Strive Now Magazine. Strive Now Magazine. Hey, Strive Nation. Welcome back to Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Hayes, along with your co-host, Darren Williams.
Yo.
Yeah, that's D. Will. I'd like to thank D. Will for his segment in the weekend review.
Thanks for having me.
It was very good. Now on to black on black crime. Now, we all know that black on black crime is a big issue. However, that's a broad subject.
Right.
You can't come to one magical moment to end black on black crime.
Right.
And black on black crime is not the epidemic that they portray it to be. And especially when we get down to after we crunch the numbers and looked at what crimes are going on, and you crunch those numbers with other nationalities, you'll see that it's not an epidemic, but it's bad and it needs to be dealt with.
Yes, it does.
I see it like this. Black on black crime is bad. And when you talk about black on black crime, you're going to have a lot of people say, well, what about white on white crime? Which is true. However, we don't need to compare black on black crime to white on white crime, to Asian on Asian crime, or Hispanic on Hispanic crime. We don't need to compare that in the context of what they do it to.
Right.
But if it's going to be compared, it should be compared to how is it being deterred? How are they trying to stop you from
What's
doing
their
it?
solution?
Right. So if the solution and the deterrence should be across the board. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it, it's not across the board. We're going to go to one of the things we say is poverty, how poverty plays a role in black on black crime. And as when I say the races don't count, it's more of how the government treat each race that has a problem that will lead to crime.
Right.
For instance, white on white crime is 84%. Now that's high, and it's not as high as black on black crime at 90%, which is way too high.
It is.
But the problem is when you had an epidemic of white on white crime happening in the past, the first thing they do is pass legislation to create jobs. Yeah. So this is how the construction jobs kept going and kept coming, building the streets. They would build bridges, and during the 70s when they didn't want them to go out into the crime because when the unemployment was high with Jimmy Carter, President Carter, they went out and they redid the bridges, the construction jobs, like what they call the maintenance, the streets. Yeah. They created jobs so that they could have work to keep it low. Now you take the 1980s, which is one of the reasons we are where we are today, because of the 1980s when the crack epidemic hit into the community.
Created by the government.
Right. They asked for stricter laws. Instead of saying let's go create some jobs, some job training, so they could get these jobs and they could have an alternative to crime.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to create jobs, they prefer to lock the brothers up. If you're doing wrong, lock the brothers up. And that started with Ronald Reagan when he basically took all of the training courses out of the public schools, and especially in the urban neighborhoods. Yeah. And what once a mechanic, you could go for a job as a mechanic. Now you can't get that. I think that we said that in the last segment about you can't do HVAC now.
No.
Elevator operators, working on the repair. You can't do that now. You have to pay that money or get a loan because he was SNL savings scandal. He was looking out for the banks. So poverty plays a major role in how the government handles it. Is very significant to what's going to happen. So now these kids out here, they don't have an education. Their parents don't have an education, to be honest.
No.
To be honest, the parents don't have an education. You have...
Nor do they sound like they want one.
They don't want one. You have what appears to be the undereducated raising undereducated.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And each time the generation is losing empathy and value for life. They have no value for life.
That's true.
They want money. They don't know how to get money. So they go out and get money illegally. So poverty plays a big role. The lower income in the community, the higher the crime will be. Yeah. And there's no way around it.
There's no way. It's a vicious cycle.
So it's going to be almost impossible to lower a crime rate if the poverty level is high.
Yeah.
And a lack of education has a lot to do with that.
Ignorance.
And another thing is the high unemployment rate, especially amongst black people. I know they don't want to talk about it. Obama got it down some.
I was just thinking that.
But he got it down from 12 to 10, something like that. And it's at 8.8 right now. And that's high. That's like 3 to 4% over the national average, which is way too high. The national average is only 4.5%.
Right.
You have to create some jobs, and not just jobs, but some meaningful jobs, especially for the adults. To have adults around here with no jobs, and then people say, well, there are jobs out there. There are jobs out there, but how many jobs are out there where a man can take care of a family?
True.
And that's the big issue. We just happen to have some nice jobs, but most jobs paying $50,000 to $60,000 a year annually is going to require a little bit more than the postal test and the police test. You're going to have to do other things.
And if you look
college
at
degrees,
the economy, 50 and 60,000 is starting not to be enough.
That's not enough anymore.
It's not enough anymore.
It's not.
Like making 30,000 now.
Exactly. Our 16-year-olds, the jobs that are out there, they're competing with the adults now, and the adults are competing with kids. And you have a vicious cycle going around that there are no jobs, and these people are out here with no education and no jobs and nothing to do, and committing senseless crimes. And the crimes are senseless. So one of the causes being poverty and the many fields of poverty, what comes along with poverty, really needs to be addressed. At least we can't expect the government to address it.
No, we have to take responsibility. It's called self-accountability.
Yes, and that's right. That's my point when I say the white-on-white crime and all them other nationalities. No, I do understand that side of the argument.
The debate.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, because you do have right-wing think tanks and these races on these online websites and magazines that they take them numbers and they use those numbers to make it appear as if blacks are just treacherous and terrible,
savage,
right?
Animals, but they're manipulating a number.
Right. When you pushing this kind of agenda, you don't say, well, the whites have a high white on white crime rate. You don't talk about that because you don't want to talk about that.
No.
But you want to talk about the black on black crime rate. Cool. But talk about the solution.
That's the whole
talk
thing.
about the solution. Talk about what the government is doing to help one group of people and what they're doing to break up another group of people. Because you cannot be out committing crime. And I'm no, I can't act like I'm an angel. I cannot act like I didn't participate because a lot of us, growing up in the community, in the hood, we see a lot, we do a lot.
And we've been exposed to a lot.
And that's how easy, that's why I said, that's how I know how easy it is to become a victim. And when I say be a victim, participate in it. And it has to do with poverty.
But when you know better, you do better.
Education. Yeah. When you know better, you do better. When you take this family and you take this man and he has no job, he has a low income job or no job. And before you let him go and commit a crime, you create a job for him.
Yeah.
You create a job for him.
An opportunity.
Or you give them more Section 8. You give them more help with the government. We're going to give you this house. Then you take this side, this group of people, and you say, oh, no, you're a savage. What we're going to do for you is we're going to do a 3-strike law.
Stricter law.
Right, we're going to do a 3-strike law, a longer sentence. No playing. We're not going to play with you. We're going to make sure you go to jail.
We're going to bring you to heel.
And what that does is you still have this man as the head of the household of his family while you're taking this man out of the head of the household of his family. And when you're taking these black men out of the head of the household of their family, these kids are running amok.
They are.
And with that, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast.
Right where we
Strive for greatness.
Hi, I'm Tommy Hayes, owner of Strive Now Magazine and Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. I would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and I would also like to thank you for your support. But don't stop there. Go to Strive Now Magazine website at www.strivenowmagazine.com and subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you have a story to share or an upcoming business venture or event that will have a positive reflection on the black community, please contact us at strivenowpublishing@gmail.com. For business events and community events, please give us at least 2 weeks advance notice and we will respond in kind. Again, I thank you for your support and I encourage you to never stop striving. Welcome back. We thank you for joining us on Strive Now Weekly Magazine Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Hayes, along with the co-host, Darian Williams.
Yo.
That's Mr. D. Will.
Yeah.
Right. We'd like you to visit the page, the website, www.strivenowmagazine.com. Visit the Facebook page at Strive Now Magazine and on Twitter at Now Strive. Contact us at strivenowpublishing@gmail.com. Okay, we're talking about black on black crime, and we know that we can't cover everything on black crime. Our list may not be your list.
Right.
This is what we've come up with, and I thank D. Will because this is basically he's working with me on this. Even some of the things that I listed, he would have a different list. That's how much of a problem black on black crime is.
Black on black crime. Yes,
right. So our list may not be the same as yours, and we respect that. So we had poverty as one of the main issues that lead people into crime. We had lack of education, and we had big time, exactly. We had the high unemployment rate, because we have the highest unemployment rate of all nationalities.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
We play a role in that, but we're not the only thing that play a role in that. But my main thing is the broken family structure. And it really peeves me because if anyone look at the history, family structure went down, black on black crime rate went up.
The family was under attack.
Right. A husband, a wife, and a child. That's a structured family to me.
Yeah.
A husband, a wife, and a child. Even if you're not married and you're living together, the man is in the house with this girl, with this child.
Difference.
It makes a big difference. It totally makes a difference. And when you break that, you are now having a mother in most cases, the mother playing the role of the mother, and she can't be a father, but she's trying to play the role of the father.
Yeah,
and
doing the best she can.
She's doing the best she can. Most of the time, they're doing the best they can, because all mothers don't do the best they can.
No,
we see what's out here.
Yeah, that's true.
And I like to want to give credit to the mothers that do it. Because I get tired of everybody on Mother's Day claiming they want a Mother's Day card. All of you do not, just like fathers, you could call a deadbeat dad, a deadbeat dad. But some of these people, ladies that's having babies, are terrible mothers. Yeah. But that's not the thing. It comes down to the man not being in the house.
That's right.
And when the man is not in the house, we do not carry the child for 9 months. So when a father is in the house, not all of the time, but most of the time when the father is in the house, even the rule is different. Yeah. The punishment is different. Your mother could be as strict as she wants. That's your mother. You're gonna have. We always talk about our grandma, how our grandma get the switch. And most of us growing up, I'm older than you. My mother whooped us too. Mm-hmm. We got whoopings too. But it's a difference in the timing. Was not like my dad. If my dad was around to whoop me, right. Because mom is to whoop you and then to console you. Yeah. And today there are no whoopings, but we coming up, stay on this subject, coming up, when the dad is in the house and he whoop you, he's still strong on you. Oh, yeah. If I'm punishing Neopoo, I'm still strong on her. Yeah. It's not like if, and that's my grandbaby, that's my little grandbaby, yeah. Shout out to Neopoo. Right. It's not like, it's like when you would DJ. Oh, yeah. When you on him, on him, and you come back later and play the football and you all do the thing. But once you discipline him, he's disciplined.
But it's a respect factor. Mm-hmm. Like same thing with my father. He used to give me the business too, man. That's right. I'm the better for it.
That's right.
And it's a difference. My mom, she did a great job too. She gave me a bunch of whoopings. I had every one of them coming. That's right. But something about having a man that you look up to, that respect factor, it makes a difference. See, I feared my father more than I feared anybody in the street.
Exactly. And that
the gangbangers and all that, I wasn't worried about that. I worried about my father.
That fear, and Tommy wasn't there for me. So I see this through other things. But the fear of the father is twofold. You fear the physical. You fear that whooping, you're going to remember that whooping. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I remember the whoopings from mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The whoopings that you remember. But with the father, it's the love too. Because when the father whoop you, he's hard on you after he whooped you because he still wants you to know that this is it. I'm doing this for you, right? I'm not playing. You're gonna get this right. A mother's like that too, but most mothers are consoling.
They nurture,
right?
They nurture,
because
they nature.
That's what my point is. The mother carries the child for 9 months. It's natural that she's the nurturer. Yeah, that bond is there. The father, we do not know that experience. No. So once I get on you, I'm on you. Right. I'm on you. I'm on you. Messed up. We all have love, but black women, they actually have an unconditional love.
Yes, they do.
Sometimes to a fault.
Yeah. A lot of times.
To the fault. Yeah. And you look at the structure of these families with the man not being there, these kids are rebellious.
They are.
I put up on my Facebook page today, you cannot be a deadbeat dad. I said it last week, you can't be a deadbeat dad and complain about unruly kids.
Yeah.
We need more fathers in these homes.
We do.
If my daughter disrespect me or get rebellious, okay, I'm going to deal with it. But at the same time, I love you unconditionally. Yeah. But there are conditions to this love.
To this love, yeah. There's certain things you're not going to do.
So now they get now. You look at these black mothers today. They take it. These kids snap on them.
They do.
Man, these kids snap on them. The grandkids got to get loud once they get old enough. Oh, it's totally different.
Man.
It's totally different. I cannot raise my voice. I don't raise my voice to mom to this day. Mm-hmm. But I cannot raise my voice to my mother at 12 years old.
Oh man!
But now,
out on
right?
the floor, man.
Exactly. But now it's a different era. The family structure is broken. You still have large families scattered out here and there as far as the mother with 7 and 8 kids. You still have those families scattered out, but now you see more single mothers with about 3 kids, 2, 3 kids, 4 at the most. And the difference is they don't have the family unison. Well, I had 7, 8 uncles. Right. So Tommy wasn't there. But Mom could always tell one of my uncles, I can't remember any of my uncles whooping me, to be honest. I think my Uncle Bert, I can remember him whooping me. But I don't remember, I remember my Uncle Willie B chastising me verbally.
Straighten you out.
Right. He was a disciplinarian, but that's about it. I don't remember the men in my family whipping me. I remember my grandmother, plenty of my grandmother. Yeah. I can remember my mother. I didn't turn out bad, but so I'm not going to act like I was innocent through everything. No, because I know I made some mistakes. I own up to those mistakes.
Self-accountability.
Right, but what they don't have, as far as the big families, you don't have the guidance when you have the big families now. We had a big family. We had other things to do at a different time, but my uncles also watched over me. Coming from a big family, they watched over me. Right. They watched over my little brother also, and that made a difference. Today, right. They don't have that. The big family is gone. So everybody follows the bully now. Everybody follows the bully. And when you look at these kids, that they don't have the heart to do something. And you catch a shorty one-on-one, he's totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
And that's in all ages, all eras. They're totally different. But now it's like they have no leadership. And the family structure, without having that father there, that makes a difference. The stats say that single-parent homes have a 17% increase in juvenile crime. And that man plays a role. He plays a role not being there. Yeah. Because if that man is there, I almost guarantee that goes down at least 10%.
Yeah.
It does. At least. Yeah. And it said that the violent teenage crime, the rate, it goes with, like I said, the deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
The deadbeat, you don't have that man there. You basically hurting a child's chances of survival when you take that father out of the household.
Yeah.
And don't want to disrespect. I don't want to beat the mothers over the head, because you have some mothers doing some wonderful, man, they are, and I salute. I totally salute. But I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know the stress, the pain that they have. It's
hard with 2 parents.
It's hard with 2 parents. So one lady doing it, it's hard. And the children don't appreciate it. These mothers are giving they all, breaking their bones, busting their backs to give these kids everything these kids want. Yeah. And these kids are so unruly and so selfish that they don't appreciate it, and they follow. Not all of them, but when you look at these numbers, but the disrespect that they have toward grown-ups now, the disrespect toward each other, the way they carry themselves is totally different. It's totally different.
It is. I know we sound like the old people when we were kids who talk about the youth.
On the block,
man, they curse. I had to tell some shorties one time, like, hey, man, I'm old enough to be your daddy. Don't curse in front of me. And they just kept cursing. I said, man, we had enough sense. We see an adult. We was in high school. We still didn't really curse in front of adults.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Because it's a problem.
That's right. Especially on our block, we had people who could tell my mom if we did something, and I would be mad.
You'd be mad at them, because they sure go tell them.
They sure gonna go tell them. So we definitely need to rebuild the black family and get that structure together. Black love is a requirement.
It definitely
and we need 2-parent homes. When I say 2-parent homes, I'm talking about a husband, wife, and a child. I can't reiterate that anymore.
Yeah, right.
Without going into anything. I'm talking about a husband, wife, and a child.
Yes, sir.
We need at least close to marriage, to build that family.
Yes, sir.
That's from the Broken Family Structure. I'm your host, Tommy Hayes, with co-host Darren Williams. You're listening to Strive Now Magazine weekly podcast, and we'll be right back. Strive Now Magazine. Strive Magazine. Now Magazine.
Welcome to the Strive Now Magazine weekly podcast. Right where we strive for greatness.
All right, welcome back to Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast with your host, Tommy Hayes, and the co-host, Darian Williams. D. Will stepped out for a second, so we're going to go on with the show. And we have live in the studio, in the Strive Now Publishing studio, is Billa Boss. How you doing, Billa?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
All right, I'm good. Now, for you all that don't know, Billa Boss is one of the Chicago rappers. His family, this is my guy right here. You can always find his music on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes at OTT Billa. He's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right, Billa, thank you for coming in.
Man, pleasure's back.
So what's going on with you? When y'all dropping some clips?
Oh man, we got a lot of stuff in store. You know what I'm saying? We working hard.
Right.
Videos, music, interviews.
Right. I saw you all out of town on Facebook last month.
Yeah. That's South by West. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We took Chicago down to Texas, man. Tore that down one time, man.
That's what's up. When I see Collar hot, I see Collar all over.
Bro, the hardest working man in the world right now, man.
Right.
He dropping joints after joint after joint, man.
I see him.
You know what I'm saying? Never would have made it, man. Real talk. That's on every site right now. You know what I'm saying? Black Collar never would have made mixtape out right now, man.
Right. Okay. Now get into the kind of music. Okay, you all know. You street, you know how it is.
Right.
And we are, before D left, we've been talking about this segment, black on black crime and violence in the black community, period. You know, basically, right. So what you out there, so what you think is going on out here in the streets?
I mean, to keep it 100, man, it's just misguided people, man. That's really what's going on. I mean, the structure gone. I mean, it's back to what everybody be saying. You talk to somebody older, man. The structure gone. So it's misguided people that's doing anything. They feel like it, basically. There ain't no repercussions behind nothing you do nowadays.
Right.
It's just, you know what I mean? All the shorties getting killed and shot and all that, girls and innocent bystanders and all that. Like,
so I'm going to cut you off. I apologize. So when you say the structure gone, you mean the leaders of the organizations, the gangs? So when the police or the FBI, feds, whatever, took down those leaders, you think the streets lost control of what was going on?
I say they lost control because when they came in and did that, I ain't gonna say like they did it purposely for this to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that.
Right. They just wanted the repercussions
that
they
what I'm saying?
didn't pay attention to.
But this what you get. You know what I mean? This what you get right here.
The consequence of it.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody running around all crazy and all that. Like this is what happened. Ain't no overseers, ain't no punishment as far as street. Right. As far as street and what you do.
With the exception of karma.
Right, exactly, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's why all this is going on.
So, how do you think they're getting access to the guns? I mean, because shorties today got guns. I mean, I'm talking 12 years old. Like out here in Harvey, the young lady had to pull over. I saw this on Facebook over last summer when a young lady saw her neighbor's son walking up 154th with the gun, and she flipped back around on him. He had to be no more than 14 years old. It was her neighbor.
Her neighbor's son, she spent back on him?
She spent back on him and took it from him. They recorded her.
What kind of gun was?
I can't remember that. Like a 9 or something. But they have access to guns. You know, you want to know what kind of gun.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to paint the picture, man.
Right. But it was like a 9 or something. He had access to. Like, how do you think they're getting access to the guns?
That's just recklessness right there. Yeah. I say on the gun owner or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was a machine gun or something like that, you know what I mean? But that happens right there. That's just carelessness. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just like he could have got a 9 from
anybody.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody. You know what I'm saying?
They out here like that.
Right. They definitely out here like that.
So it's these access.
Now, as far as them getting put out here like that, I mean, you know, I go back to the freights. You know, I done heard stories of the government just dropped the freights right there to get bumped into, so to put the guns out here and all that.
I heard that conspiracy. I heard that.
Yeah, so I mean, I really don't know.
There was. Well, I know one of them made the real news a couple of years ago.
Right.
I know about that one. Right. But I do hear the stories also that the freights, they never guard the freights.
Right.
They always park these freights right here where the train stops at that on the hot spot.
Right, exactly. They dropping joints off in Inglewood.
70%
man. You know what I'm saying?
Things like that. So, okay, so now, even though they have access to it, and there is no structure. So, with them running the muck, is it gang violence? Is it they don't have money, so where's the motivation to harm and kill and hurt
each other?
Yeah.
I won't say it's gang violence. I won't say that. All thing I can say is it's the same thing from back in the day. Like, it's always gonna be sides.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I think it's so many sides.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because of the loss of structure.
Right, because of the loss it's always gonna go back to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. And if this person feel this way, that person feel that way, there ain't nobody to mediate. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. So I'm gonna go do this, all right? Because I'm riding with you.
And then they gonna go.
You know they gonna go. Ain't no man. Don't do this because this gonna do this to that or that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. Ain't none. That's why it's wild. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's wild, man.
Okay, yeah. And it's like with the structure being gone and the kids having access to the gun, like you said, they don't have anyone to tell them don't do this and don't do that.
No, hold on, I'm going to cut you off, neither. I mean, it go back to the parents too.
Right. That's what I was about to lead to. Right. Go ahead.
It go to the parents too, man. Because I got me a youngin that's up and coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he got the father, the mother, the stepfather, and the stepmother. You know what I'm saying? And that's rough by itself. Right. So I can just imagine a shorty with just the mother, or just the father, or neither, or just the grandmother. You know what I mean?
Because the grandmother's raising a lot of these kids too.
A lot. You know what I'm saying? So
you still won't do right.
It's a lot going on.
Right. See, the unruliness, like if a child like that is in the home and it's hard to control, then you could imagine the child that doesn't have any kind of establishment at home. Right. And most of the time, I think I said this in the earlier segment when it was D. Will and I, that a good child in a home with two parents or one parent or whatever can be influenced by the outsiders. Now normally when the father's in the house, that doesn't always play a role, but it can happen. And that just means that child is really out here and to be influenced. That's personal. That's living up. That's actually, I'm not going to say living up to it. It's living down to peer pressure. Okay. And then that's what that sounds like. Like he's living down to peer pressure. He rather impress his guys on the street and make his reputation look strong before he do what's right and make himself look strong before his parents, which is a sign of weakness for the street. But that's how, we go through that. That's how the streets are. So now, for you, you've had incidents where you've been shot before. Right. How do you handle that, and how do you bounce back from that? What motivates you? What motivates you in your rap songs? You have a lot of gangster rap, but at the same time, you talk to the shorty. You try to do better, show them better when you're talking to them. How do you overcome being shot? And I don't want to know the details. But how do you overcome being shot, and how do you try to motivate the kids to go a different route? Yeah.
Well, once you get shot, you either gonna go crazy or you gonna sit back and think. Right. You know what I'm saying? Before getting shot, you know what I'm saying, while doing whatever I did, you know what I'm saying, I was never the one to go crazy before I thought. Right. You know what I'm saying? I think first, you know what I'm saying? So
think then react.
Same scenario when I got shot.
Okay.
Angry, you gonna get angry. Right. You got all these people in your ear, man, ooh, this, ooh, that. I always thought, you know what I'm saying? So the thinking process kick in, this is that. The anger part kick in, this is that. You just gotta weigh them options out. It's all on the person. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deal with their situation different. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, me getting shot just made me think better. Right. As far as put myself in this situation, depending on these people and all that. Like it really like once you live, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying me.
Right.
Once you live, it's like blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what it is to me, P.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't blame the shooters. You know what I'm saying? This come with
the
what we're
territory.
doing. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Come with
This
the
come with what we're
territory.
doing. I ain't blaming none of them. You know what I'm saying? And my situation was so crazy. I think me not panicking when I got shot saved my life. You know what I'm saying? I you know, when it happened, I didn't panic to the point where, like, you know, while they hitting me, I'm reacting, not shooting back.
Okay.
But reacting a certain way where they like, oh man, we gotta get up out of here.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's man, thinking.
Okay.
It's all about thinking, man. You get fanned up, man. What you think? Cause you gonna feel some type of way. You gonna think. Mm-hmm. If you drive off feelings, you in the road to destruction, man.
Right. So like, you talk to your stepson about what happened?
No, I don't talk to him about that. You know what I'm saying? You know, because he in a stage of really action speaks louder than words.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? His father in a certain situation, I don't want to really speak on that, but you know, he in a certain situation, I talked to him and he basically gave me his blessings, like, man, raise my son.
Right.
So
that's real.
now, no doubt. Good dude. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I basically I ain't even had to sit down with him yet.
Okay.
You know, like, man, like, you in my hands right now.
Right.
So I'm gonna treat you like man.
I know that's
whether you like it, you know what I'm saying, whether you like it or not.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? So, man, with the black on black crime, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's definitely real. It's gonna be hard, man.
And like you said, with no organization on the outside, on these streets, you know, I was saying earlier, basically there's no organization in the household.
I
agree.
So
it's trouble. You know?
Especially on the shorties though, man. The shorties, they only, man, I mean, if you think about it, like when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying, you know, my father was gone, you know, I had to look up to my uncles and my cousins. You know, my mama did her best. You know, I salute my mama.
Right.
You know, and rappers.
Right.
So now you think like, look at the rappers today. Like,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to down the rappers today. Get your bread. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like,
you can't down them. You're a rapper. I could down them.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm standing 10 toes with you though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So when you all gonna drop something? When the next clip coming out?
Man, we working, man. You know what I'm saying? We working, man. Collar working.
Yeah, he got a release party.
Yeah, he got one set, but he got one planned, but there ain't no set date for it yet. You know
okay, everybody, just so everybody can know, it's HMH, OTT Music, 6 Ward Records.
6 Ward Films.
All right, Billa Boss, OTT Billa, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sharing your insight with us. This is Tommy Hayes for Strive Now Magazine weekly podcast, and we'll be right back.
Where the conscious mind reaches consciousness, we strive now.
Hi, I'm Tommy Hayes, owner of Strive Now Magazine and Strive Now Magazine weekly podcast. I would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and I would also like to thank you for your support. But don't stop there. Go to Strive Now Magazine website at www.strivenowmagazine.com and subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you have a story to share or an upcoming business venture or event that will have a positive reflection on the Black community, please contact us at strivenowpublishing@gmail.com. For business events and community events, please give us at least 2 weeks advance notice and we will respond in kind. Again, I thank you for your support and I encourage you to never stop striving.
Turned on the TV this morning. Had this shit on about living in a violent world. Showed all these foreign places foreigners living on. I started thinking, man, either they don't know, don't show, I don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Been trying to run from my problems to keep another one from adding on. so numb, I'm so far gone. Cause the collateral damage is done. Just need to exhale. I just need to exhale. I just need to.
Okay, welcome back to Strive Now Magazine Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Hayes, along with the co-host, Darian Williams, who had to step out. So I think I'm going to be taking this home. Today we're talking about, this is week 2, and we're talking about the violence in our community. The black-on-black crime. I hate calling it the black-on-black crime epidemic because black-on-black crime is no different than any other crime. All nationalities have high crime rates amongst themselves. That's just how it is. The difference is how the government handles it. That's my opinion. But what are the root causes of black-on-black crime or the black violence that's plaguing our community? Well, we went over the poverty. Poverty and crime, they go together. They're synonymous. If you have high poverty, you will have high crime rates. That's how history is. Also, our educational levels is watered down. We don't have good school funding. Our school system is not the best, especially in urban neighborhoods. Our communities do not have thriving schools. We have some teachers who are fighting for their children, for these students, but when you look around and you go to these schools, it's pathetic, it's terrible. And you have parents who send these kids to school and the parents don't care, they don't interact with the school. Some of them don't know who the principal are, they don't know who their teachers are, of the teachers of their children are, but we don't help our children as our parents helped us. And the level of education, not just the level of education, but the intellect needed, the intellect that's necessary to handle social skills, to handle an argument, a dispute, is no longer viable in the black community for all. So you're seeing bullies, you're seeing more agitation. We walk around just mad and frustrated. You can't look at me wrong. I can't look at you wrong. If I do, it's a fight. The kids are disrespectful. And all that comes down to the educational level. You have high unemployment. Our unemployment rate is higher than every other nationality in America. And the problem with that is it's been like that for too long. Now the government will take care of everyone else with a high unemployment rate except for the African American. And to say I hate this country is not going to say it all, because I don't hate this country. I hate this government that perpetuates this venomous cycle of not helping blacks, not helping Hispanics, but then blame blacks and blame Hispanics for the results of their action, because everyone else get help. The Roaring 20s, to stop the prohibition, the selling of alcohol, the killing that came with it, they passed legislation. And then they made sure they got jobs. You know, I mentioned it earlier about the 70s and the early 80s when the economy almost collapsed with Jimmy Carter. And they made sure they did maintenance on the bridges. You know, and I will say one thing about Obama is that's one of the things he called for 8 years. 8 years he called for that. And every Republican in the Senate vetoed creating jobs through the means of doing maintenance to the constructions, to the bridges. So if they're not fighting out, they're not trying to help us fight high unemployment. What good is it if you're going to spend more money on policing and less money on helping the community? So that's another thing. And it always comes down to another one, broken family structure. We have too many families who the mother is the head of the household, and she is the mother and the father. She never could be a father, but she's the mother of the household, and she has to play the role of the father because the father isn't there. And you have some situations where the father is there and the mother isn't there. And so the father's playing both roles. He's not playing the role of the mother. He can't do that. So we got to keep that equal and fair, say for both genders. But he has to take on the role of doing something, that the mother should be doing. When you have to work so many jobs to keep these bills paid, and I'm not talking about the middle class family that has the middle class income and a nice educational level. I'm talking about the lower class income family that has such a lower level of educational level. They have to work 2 jobs to make it work, and you're not home with your kids. And if you're not home with your kids, then the streets are raising your children, or raising our children. And when the middle class and the lower class mix up, there's classism involved. So you have some blacks looking down on others, and that's where a lot of the self-hate and the disagreements, as I was talking about the class bullying, all of these things play effect into the cause of the violence in our community. We have a corroded culture where they're recording the violence on Facebook. They go Facebook Live. Everybody want to grab their phone and start recording the fight. The one man that did break it up, young gentleman broke it up. I believe he was in Philadelphia, Georgia. He was on the East Coast. He broke up the fight, and the gesture was so appreciated that when it went viral, he was invited to, I believe, the city council meeting, and he was given an award. And it shouldn't be like that. We all should have the propensity to want to stop violence. We should want to stop fights. It's not about real star hip hop. Before it blew up, I don't want anybody emailing me videos of the black people fighting, because you could tell that this was going to keep going. It was going to become a cycle. It was going to become accepted in our culture. And it'd be grown people. You 30 years old and you enjoying this as entertainment. Why do you not think that your children are going to enjoy this as entertainment? And we lose a sense of empathy, a sense of value of life. We become desensitized to other people's pain, and that plays a role. This culture is corroded. That's the bottom line. I mean, when you add all of these things together, poverty, the educational system, the unemployment rate, the broken family, a corroded culture, it's hard to survive. It's hard to not see violence. That's a lot of negativity that our community is going through. And sooner or later, whether we want to come to that realization or not, we're going to have to break the cycle. There's no way we can survive at this rate. I mean, 90% of all blacks who are murdered are killed by other blacks. And I know the whites, their percentage is high, but we're talking about us. When I'm talking about black on black crime, I don't want to talk about white on white crime. When I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, I don't want to talk about Blue Lives Matter. I don't want anybody talking about All Lives Matter. I want to talk about the subject we're talking about, which is black lives and the crime that's going on, the violent crime. So let's get that straight before somebody chime in on Facebook or Twitter and say, well, whites do this and what about this? No, we know all of that. So we're just going to stay focused on the blacks, ourselves. We're going to go into these numbers. We're not going to be long because I've got to end the show. But when I crunched these numbers to know that 90% of all blacks were murdered by other blacks, that was hurtful. But that's all nationalities. We know that. But the average victim being 31 years old, so if you're killing off 31-year-olds, these are dads, because 87% of them were male, so now let's go back to a broken home. No dad there. That's worse than prison, but just as bad as prison. But the shocking thing was that of all the murders, only 15% of the black on black violent crimes were actually due to gang-related violence. Most of these things stem from you were attacked by someone you know. 72% was attacked by someone he or she knew. And 51% of that stemmed from an argument. And I can attest to how easy that happens because I myself participated foolishly in a situation like that before and got myself in trouble, luckily. And I'm very fortunate to have a loving sister, loving mother, at the time a loving ex-wife. And I had a supporting cast that was very much needed at that time. But it was easy to get in trouble. It was harder to get out of it. But this is what's happening now, and now it's tenfold. The rash of violence is so widespread that it's not happening in little pockets here or there anymore. I mean, no matter where you go to Harvey, you go to Chicago, South Side, West Side, North Side, East Side, it's violence. Dalton, Riverdale, Markham, that's just how it is. And that's just this area, and that's not counting Brooklyn, Compton, Watts, Detroit. It's not counting all of the other little major cities where blacks are highly populated. We have to fix this. And how we're going to fix it is going to take a nation of blacks to fix this. We are going to have to come together and do some things because the point that I'm getting at when it's all said and done is the government is not trying to do anything to prevent black-on-black crime. If anything, they're enhancing it, they're helping it, they're aiding it. They're passing more legislation to put more people into poverty. They're closing down more schools, so now the educational level is going down. It's not creating real jobs. No, Trump has no plan of creating real jobs, and if there are real jobs being created, we're still going to have to beat at the door, knock at the door and ask for it, because we're not opening up enough of our own businesses, if we're not supporting the blacks that do have businesses, and some of the blacks that do have businesses don't support blacks that do have businesses. It's a perpetual cycle that's being repeated year after year after year. In our black economy, we're spending, but we're not receiving money. So it's a vicious cycle. The broken home, the structure's damaged. We need a husband, wife, and child structure. I'm not apologizing for what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying may be controversial to some, but we need a husband, wife, and child structure. And a good husband, a good wife, and a good child structure. And when I say that, I mean we need the husband who wants to be out and provide and protect, know his role. We need a wife who knows how to nurture and love, raise the child. Work also however that household decide to do their roles, but know the major role. Because the children are our future, and we're letting them down. We're letting them down with this culture. When you look at these kids and the things that they're seeing, the things that they're allowed to do, we're letting them down. And we're letting down our children's children. And we have to fix that. And in my heart, I believe we can. You're listening to Strive Now Magazine weekly podcast with Tommy Hayes. I'm your host with the co-host Darren Williams. And we'll be right back.
Where the conscious mind reaches consciousness. We strive now.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host, the co-host, and the guest, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Strive Now Publishing or any of its affiliate companies. Strive Now Magazine. Strive Now Magazine.
All right. We'd like to thank the guests, our studio guests for the week, OTT Billa for HMH, OTT, 6 Ward Films, and 6 Ward Records. We appreciate your insight, Billa. Thanks for stopping through. We want to thank Ben Sounds of bensound.org for the music. Of course, Sean Felton of Mob Music, the Exhale intro that's hot. Hit his Facebook page at Sean Felton. And as for us, you can visit the website at www.strivenowmagazine.com. Like our Facebook page at Strive Now Magazine. You can hit the YouTube and subscribe to Tommy Hayes at Strive Now Publishing. The videos will be coming up soon. Yes, we will be getting into video, and you can hit us at the at Now Strive for our Twitter feed. I'd like to thank D. Will, my co-host. He'll be back next week. This is episode 2. We discussed black violence. It's been a nice discussion. I hope everybody's listening. Don't forget to subscribe. The iTunes is not up right now. There was a problem, but we'll be on iTunes and SoundCloud. Hopefully by the time this is up. We appreciate all the support and love. Share. And you have a blessed week. This is Tommy Hayes in the Strive Now Publishing Studio, where we strive for greatness.
Where the conscious mind reaches consciousness. We strive now.